Hi, I'm Delia. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm taking you on an art tour with the collectors Matt and Adam, who live in the East Colfax neighborhood of Denver. Their home is super vibrant and colorful. I think you will really enjoy their art collection.
Hey, I'm Matt Ross from 1601 Interiors in Denver, Colorado. We're an interior design studio and home staging firm. This is our house. It's sort of like a maximalist inspired cottage with lots of like femme and queer undertones and lots of fun expressive color. So I can show you. This is our main living space. Throughout the home, there are lots of decoupage pieces by an artist named John Darien, who creates all of these hand-blown glass pieces and then superimposes found prints on the back of them. He makes all of these in the East Village in New York City. I've been collecting them for probably like 7 years, so I have a lot of them. And then you'll also see throughout, we've collected a bunch of different prints from various artists. And something sneaky that we do, we will actually go to a secondhand store and pick out other artwork that has a nice frame that we're not necessarily thrilled with the artwork. And we will pry open the back of the frame and insert our print into it so that we have a really eclectic mix of frames without having to pay top dollar for all of them. So we have Nina Simone over here. This is a print of a sultry sailor by Felix Dion. He's an artist I think is based out of Mexico that does a ton of like really cool queer inspired work. Also a lot of indigenous inspired work. Yeah, that's some of this. We've incorporated a lot of found objects and pottery into our home that means something special to us. It's like this is a brick from where I used to live in Brooklyn. They were like demolishing part of the street, and I picked up a brick because it means something to me. And it adds a little sculptural element to the home. My friend Marlena is a sculptor and ceramic artist. This is a little figurine that she made when she was in her master's program. You'll also see we do have a good amount of like I said, femme-inspired artwork, kind of paying homage and expressing this feminine energy. That's expressed in this print, and there is another one in the house that kind of like mirrors that energy. I chose this piece because my astrological sign is Cancer, so it's a bunch of crabs. Another fun print. This is not by Felix Dion. I don't know who this is, but another queer artist. And then, yeah, you'll also see like everything is pretty eclectic. We're really unafraid of incorporating color. And sometimes when we were actually kind of moving into the home, we started with like one or two anchoring pieces. Like this was an anchor for us. This was an anchor for us. And then we filled in around that with the other items that we had. So kind of being unafraid to make one or two bold choices and then be like, okay, maybe I can put this in, maybe I can put this in, working from there. So this is sort of our wet bar slash plant stand area slash like crystals and tarot reading area. So you'll see I have a ton of little fun, like, I don't know, witchy objects over here. And then we have this lamp that one of our neighbors gave us. It's pretty old, kind of flickering right now. And then up here we have a print that I found at Petals and Pages, which is a queer and femme-owned bookstore in Santa Fe Arts District. Just really loved how evocative and colorful it was. Strangely enough, we were given some flowers around the same time that kind of like mimicked the same flowers that are in the piece. So I hung them from this crazy pair of figure skates. These figure skates I found on the street when I was living in Brooklyn, just in front of someone's townhome. And I'm not a figure skater, and my husband's not a figure skater, but I just have always loved how they look just hanging from the ceiling. And so it's kind of fun. Like something doesn't have to mean something. It can just be beautiful. And maybe like people project their own meaning onto it, which is fun when people come over because they're always like, what is that? Yeah, that's kind of this little corner here. And then we also did a ton of puzzles during the pandemic. So this is a puzzle of the city of New York. It looks kind of like a steak, like from a distance. And then this is a page from like a children's primer. Like I think they used to learn words and like how to read and stuff from this. So I found it somewhere and just like nailed it into the wall. This is our guest room. It's sort of like a cheery place for people to hang out when they come visit us. It's meant to be really vibrant and fun. Just why we chose this kind of wild, like marigold color for the room. The focal point here is this like almost carnival looking piece that we found at a Lord and Taylor that was going out of business. They were selling off all of their like artwork that they had decorated the store with. We got this probably for like $20 or something. Just so fun. You'll see behind me, this is the piece that kind of like mimics that other femme piece in the living room. I think they're by the same artist. This is an ode to our cat Squishy that is on my shoulder right now. She's part of the house. Over here, we have an oil painting that also is kind of another ode to Squishy. Our friend found it at an estate sale, and she is currently a single woman and was like, all these guys are coming over and thinking I'm a crazy cat lady because I have this piece. So I need you to take it. So we took it. And it really works here for us. You'll see this is a map of Bermuda, which is we found at a random estate sale. And my husband and I have spent some time in Bermuda. So it's significant to us, but we just came across it. We have a little tiny plate up there that's an ode to our dog. This massive John Darien print that actually was a freebie that they gave me just in the bag. I think it's actually supposed to be wrapping paper, but I framed it because I liked it. And then sort of over here, we have a piece that I found at an ARC thrift store. One of the previous residents of the home who was the daughter of the person who lives next door. So I sort of have it looking at her mom's house in a way. So yeah, sort of like paying homage to the spirit of the house. And then lots of fun, eclectic items here, some of which are kind of given to us from family or friends that are kind of silly. And then we have more of these John Darien pieces up here. And this little hat is actually a hat that I put on Squishy sometimes. If she'll let me. Yeah, so when we're kind of figuring out which pieces to put where, it's a bit of like an imperfect science. Like we will sort of like figure out what shape do I want in this area. Like here we had this circle already. So I was like, okay, probably 2 rectangles around it. And I like that they're almost the same size, but they're a little bit different so that it's not perfect symmetry. And a lot of it is sort of just intuitive, like trying to think about, you know, what feels balanced, but not super predictable. Like here, I think we started with this big anchor and then sort of filled in as we got more pieces. Also thinking about the colors of the space. Like this room really doesn't have any rules with color. But we tried to have lots of like golds and like rusty colors, some like royal blues. So yeah, kind of like looking at the colors of the pieces, the shapes of the pieces, and also working by trial of elimination. So like once I've got one piece, then that's going to kind of tell me what I can put around it. So here I've collected just a couple of pottery pieces that we have in the home. So like I mentioned earlier, one of my friends is a ceramic artist, and these three pieces here were all made by her. This is a funnel that actually works really nice for like funneling like peppercorns into a pepper grinder. This is a little juicer that also works for like juicing citrus. And then this is our butter dish, and it has real butter in it. And it kind of matches the tile that we have in our kitchen, strangely enough. It's this really beautiful, like indigo obsidian color. I love it. This was given to me by my mom, who found it in Santa Fe. And it just makes me feel like connected to my family. And I put all of my like Palo Santo chunks in it when I can't burn them anymore. I'm collecting chunks in there. And then lastly, this was a lamp that my grandpa had that still works. I don't have the lamp connected to it right now, but he found it somewhere in the Southwest. I'm not really sure where, but when he passed away, this is one of the things that I got. It's actually really cool. Like it lights up and light kind of comes out of these.
Oh, they're all holes?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so
Isn't that cool?
Whoa.
So yeah, I accidentally hung a pot over it that like fell onto it one time. So this whole top like shattered and I had to piece it back together. But it's stood up over time. So this is really cool. I keep it on overnight. Just sweet. This is our bedroom, the primary bedroom. Here we chose sort of like an emerald color that's very calming. Apparently green like lowers your heart rate, which is cool. We've got lots of plants interspersed. It feels sort of like a Golden Girls vibe is what we were going for. So starting sort of in this corner, we had this like large photorealism piece of like a man about to go into the wilderness nude, which is kind of fun. And also back here behind this crazy plant is another John Darien piece in his painter series that really just shows like all of these different shades of color that I really love. I actually made this phallic painting. It's a watercolor. I paint watercolors sometimes. Kind of fun. So yeah, moving through, we have a couple more of these John Dariens. This piece I have had for like 12 years in different frames and different iterations. I bought it for like $5 at a print shop when I was in college, and it made me feel like I had art, which was beautiful. And so it's gotten kind of tattered because I didn't always have it framed, but it's sort of just like, yeah, it was my first, maybe one of my first art purchases. And it was really a meaningful way to start adding some beauty to my space. Over here, we have this piece my husband made with one of his friends. Just fun. It was like part of a theater set that he was taking down and brought it home for just a fun like art therapy night. It's canvas mounted on wood. So yeah, the outside is wood. We have a Matisse cutout, I think. This is a print. It's not an original. That would be crazy if I
Unframed.
just up with Post-its or whatever. As we kind of move through here, I do have more of my crystally stuff. And then we get to this corner. I love this big eyeball. It's just really fun and kind of freaky. Sometimes people feel unnerved by it, but I like it. This was another piece from the Lord and Taylor that was closing. It sort of pays homage to our New York time of our life because this is a building in Soho. So kind of channeling that. And then this is a print that I actually got in Paris. It's Toulouse-Lautrec. So these are, it's funny when you look at it because some people see like young kids that are like having a sleepover, other people see lovers. It was, Toulouse-Lautrec painted a lot of sex workers, and so this was like a man and a sex worker, but like it's just really evocative and feels very like peaceful to me. Moving through here, we have our little gay love moment. This is another Felix Dion piece. Up here, we found this like crazy window that was outside of a Victorian in Cap Hill that was being renoed. And so we just brought it home and used it as a frame. So it still has the glass in it. And we found this print on vacation somewhere, and I just thought it was really fun. And then over in our final corner, this is another like fun, evocatively sort of sensual, sexual vibe in the bedroom. Some people see this as like someone's pregnant belly, but it's actually someone's butt. I know. People see what they want to see. And then this large piece of wood we found in an arroyo in Santa Fe and brought it home. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. I don't know, but it adds a fun natural moment. These are some Warhol prints of shoes from when Warhol was a graphic designer. Not originals, but it could be. And then this is actually one of my little favorite, just silly pieces. It's a switch plate cover, also by John Darien. That, oh, hi, Squishy. Oh my gosh. It has all of the different like components of like a dental exam, like numbered. And it's fun because you have to like reach inside the person's mouth to like do the lights. This is our bathroom, which is oftentimes kind of like overlooked in a home, I think, for art. It's really a fun place to just be kind of cheeky, I think. So here we have another Felix Dion print of two guys looking at each other's junk. It's just kind of fun. And then we do have two of these sort of Matisse cutouts here that bring a really fun color into the space. I don't actually remember who this is, but another impressionist work up here. These are two indigenous weavings from somewhere in Colorado. A friend of mine gave them to me like a decade ago before we even lived here. So it's funny that they wound up here. And then this like funny piece is, I guess, like something that I made. You could consider it art, possibly, but essentially it says, "It has been this many days since an emotional accident has occurred in this facility." And it's kind of meant to like track how many days since my husband and I have had a fight.
Do you actually track?
We don't track anymore. But we used to just track with little matches. So people ask about this sometimes. They're like, "Oh, I love that piece that you guys have in there." I'm like, "Well, I actually just made it." Speaking a bit about my John Darien collection / like maybe obsession, I went to school in New York City, and I always used to walk into his shop, which was on East Second, just off of the Bowery. And as a student, I did not have any money to purchase any of his things, and they were all just like way out of my realm of imagination. And so once I started making some money as a server in New York, I would like save up my cash tips and like go in there and just like ball out sometimes. Which just felt really, I don't know, it was empowering in a way to be able to participate in something that felt like out of my reach. it's such an eclectic collection of images that he has, and they're all like handmade by artists in the East Village, which feels really meaningful to me. So it's someone that I feel like I can ethically support. His work fits in really well into our aesthetic of just like kind of wild, eclectic dreaming. Yeah, it makes me feel like I have access to luxury in a way that I didn't think I would really have.
Thanks for watching that with me. I hope you got something out of it. I hope that some of the pieces spoke to you, or the way that they curated their art in their sweet little cottage. Let me know what thoughts you have. I love hearing from you all in the comments below, and you can always send me an email or head over to my website if you want to learn more about if art collecting is right for you.